Today I would like to share with you guys a version of Prasārita Padottanāsana, which I learned from Lois. I first saw it in her respiratory sequence article, which came out around the time of COVID. And you can find that on her website, on loissteinberg.com. You can see her respiratory sequence. And it's an article that's very interesting. And it's also recommended to be done. It can be very helpful during menstruation. If you have back pain, it can be really, really helpful. If you have asthma, if you're tired, even for headache, I think it would be very helpful because the head is supported. So it's very prop intensive. So if you don't have all this stuff, you can just come up with something at home. It can maybe even be done towards a table, doing it over a tabletop, like the dining table. So Prasārita Padottanāsana, Prasārita meaning spread, pada, legs or feet, Uttanasana, intense stretch. So intense stretch, foot pose, yeah, or leg pose. Two yoga chairs facing each other, the seats of the chair facing each other, and the legs of the chair together. The chairs are together, they are touching, and have enough space to be able to spread your legs later on the mat. You see, make sure that you have space for your feet on the mat, especially if your floor is slippery or the floor is cold. And then you're going to put two bolsters in this direction, side by side. And sometimes you kind of have to stuff them into the chairs if they don't really fit. You want to have a flat platform. And then I'm putting two blankets. Here in France, we use the moving blankets a lot. It's more or less the thickness of the Mexican blankets. If you're in the States, we tend to use the Mexican blankets over there. So you're putting your blankets on top of the bolsters. For my height, I need this extra height. But if you're shorter than me, I'm 5'6". I like to think I'm 5'6.5". But somewhere between 5'6" and 5'7". I use two blankets on top of the bolster. If you're taller, you'll need more height. If you're shorter, you might not need the blankets. So it depends on your height. And for the head, you want to support your head. So you can do a pile of 3 blocks. But since I'm at the studio and I have a lot of chairs, I'm using a chair for the head because it can be a little unstable with the blocks. It's not impossible, but it can, so since I have the choice, I just taught a class, for example, there were 10 people here, and so we used 20 chairs, and I did not have an extra chair for 10 people to have 3 chairs per person. So they did it with 3 blocks standing up under the forehead. For some it was too tall, so 1 block was on the second height. For some, they needed a little bit extra height, so I put a little washcloth on top of the block to have more height. But it depends, But since it's just me and I have a bunch of chairs, I'm using a chair, a 3rd chair. But whatever you can use to put height under your head, forehead. And then, since the chair is not high enough, I'm adding blankets. I'm putting 3 blankets, these thick moving blankets. So if you use the Indian blankets, the cotton blankets, you'll need more because it's might be too flat. So here we go. The Rolls Royce of Prasārita Padottanāsana. As Arunji would say, business class. So feet wide apart. And you want to have your feet forward enough so that your thighs, your pubis is, right up to the support, and your heels are aligned with your hips. Make sure the feet are not behind you, okay? The feet are aligned with the pelvis. So walk your feet forward enough. Here, if you see on the video, my toes are beyond the chair legs. That's important. Make sure the feet are well aligned. They're on the same plane. And as you open the soles of the skin of the soles of the feet, press the heels down. Yes, you press the outer edges, but don't let the ankles bow out. It happens a lot in Prasārita Padottanāsana. Absorb the outer ankles in, press the inner feet down. You press the outer feet down, but don't let the outer ankles bow out. Legs firm, and then you lift up. You lift all the organs up and you come over the chair so that it's like the organs are taking a little hop over the support. And then you rest your forehead at a height that's correct for you. So I'm adjusting here, forehead resting, and make sure that the support under the head is only under the eyebrows and the forehead, not under the nose, not even the bridge of the nose. Make sure the nose is completely free and the arms rest to the sides. And can you tell that my heels are more or less aligned with the hip sockets, with the pelvis? Make sure, again, I repeat, the feet are not behind you. And as you're here with the forehead resting, chin free, nose free. Take a good breath and relax the abdomen on the exhalation. So maintain the pressing down of the heels, the ascending action of the legs. The legs have to be firm, present, active, but the trunk relaxes. Let the arms just hang to the sides. Let the back spread, let the trunk be supported. And make sure there's a little bit of a curve in your neck. Don't tuck the chin in too much. And this position is particularly helpful to open the back, the lung tissue at the back of the lungs. So if you have cough, and if you're doing the suttas over the bolster, and that makes you cough, then doing things facing down, which she explains in her respiratory sequence, Lois, is that opening this lung tissue in the back is important when you have a wet lung condition. And it releases the spine from back to front. So the lungs are kind of suspended here, facing down, and the spine goes from back to front, which is important for the nervous system. Let the body spread and release, relax over the support without letting the legs fall asleep. Let the legs be firm and present. The legs have to have your back here in this pose. And you can stay as long as you want. At some point, when you want to come out, you want to do so slowly. Feel the state in which the mind is in, that quietness, that inwardness, because the forehead is supported, the whole trunk is supported. So within that quietness, you place, when you want to come out, you open your eyes, press the hands down on top of the support, and slowly come up, but slowly. Don't come up too fast so that you don't lose that quietness, that inwardness. And then you bring your feet together slowly, and just stand in Tadasana for a moment. Gaze quiet, eyes quiet. Fix your gaze and just be inside of yourself. So this is one setup that I wanted to share with you guys. Fully supported Prasārita Padottanāsana. Happy practice.